Good morning, Jason.
Good morning, Anita. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good, good, thank you.
Good. I'm going to go ahead and get started for us this morning. Want to say good morning to everybody out there. It's going to be a hot, steamy one here in Reno again today. Those thunderstorms were something else, Jason, last night.
Oh, yeah, unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. Started a few fires, but I think we got those under control for the most part from what I've seen. But I'm so glad to have everybody joining me this morning. It's been a while since I've been on here live, and it's good to be back. I am Anita Foster, your host this morning, and this is Connections with Anita. I'm excited to have a guest joining me this morning. And Jason, say your last name for me, Jason.
Sure, it's pronounced Teichner.
Teichner. I didn't want to foul it up, Jason, but he's a expert in holistic medicine, and we're really excited to have him along with us to share his information with us today. Red Rock Media Productions currently has 9 channels on Facebook. We just added the food channel, and we've been reached out to do a live presentation about a salad master, so that'll be exciting to bring that to that channel. We also have a shop available. You can get tank tops, t-shirts, backpacks, all kinds of stuff. You can pick up Red Rock Media Productions swag, and we have other things available there too. There is a little bit shipping delay because of COVID-19. Our future goal is to start a nonprofit, and that way we can help folks in our communities that we reach the world. We have friends out in Uganda, Jeffrey out there that joins us. Maria's from Germany; she joins us quite often, and my number one fan down there in Brazil, Rodrigo. We always appreciate you, and if you like our content, you can leave us a little tip in our tip jar on our website at redrockmedia.online, and that would be very much appreciated. If you can't donate any kind of funds or anything, you can always leave us a review. You can help us that way, whether you're on iTunes or Facebook, YouTube. Our YouTube subscribers are growing, and we're excited to have them along with us. And currently, we support the following nonprofits. We have the Willow Bill Reindeer Project, which you all know and are familiar with Willow Bill. And we look forward to what this fall is going to be interesting because I don't know how the classrooms are going to be operating and if we're going to be able to have the kids call in this time on this fall. So we'll see how it goes. Of course, roughriders.org, Christian's organization, will always support him. And the ladies down at Kathmandu and Carson City, we're very passionate about our homeless, and we just really want to help anybody we can. So we're looking forward to those very exciting things in the future. And I want to thank Creative Handiworks and Design. Mario does awesome work. He's a tile artist. And I'm going to try and switch my screen. You know, Jason, every time I try to do this, something goes south. So we'll see.
Okay,
Oh, Dropbox.
let's try.
I tried to organize it last night. So trying to be a little more effective for my folks out there and get this all ironed out with Zoom. It's been a learning process for me, and I'm sure as many other people.
Yeah.
And there's a delay in bringing your stuff up to share. But Jake Jimrick is a neighbor of a classmate of mine, and he's in need of a living kidney donor. He is in my hometown, Warsaw, Indiana, and he's on the list for Minnesota and Indiana. We've been announcing this for over a year, and we really hope someone comes forward and can help him in some way. If you would like more information on that, you can visit our website, redrockmedia.online. I have links, and I also have on the road interview that I did with a couple out in Dayton that were one received a transplant and one gave up his kidneys. So it was really great to go out there and see David and gosh, Bill, that's his name. And there's a questionnaire you can fill out. If you need more information, you can always email me at redrockmediaproductions@gmail.com. And someday maybe my Dropbox will come up, Jason, you think? They've been working on
Yeah,
our
hopefully.
they've been working on our internet over here the last couple days, and you know, when you're getting ready to go live for a show, this will really leave your stomach unsettled. So if it doesn't come
Mm-hmm.
up, we'll just move forward. But I think it's a lot to do with my internet connection over here. We're on a bulk system, and so I really don't have the
Oh.
opportunity to, you know. I see the third segment, but I don't see the first. I thought I made a folder, you know. So we'll just skip that stuff, I guess. But Jason is a certified holistic health practitioner, and he's been studying various forms of alternative medicine and healing for over 20 years. And welcome to the show, Jason. Thank you for taking time out. And it's good to connect through Dr. Richard is how we met.
Mm-hmm.
And he is one of my sponsors as well. And he has also internet radio. So if you could check out KDoc Radio, you just type that in your Google search, should pop it right up. And I run on there from 10 to 11, I believe, every day, Monday through Friday. So once we get some more new content and stuff, I'll be adding that to the radio show and doing some live broadcasts as that gets set up. So grow, grow, grow. Now, Jason, have you always been in the Reno area?
So I was born and raised in LA, and I've been in Reno off and on since the end of 2005. So I've traveled quite a bit with my business, and helping with not just with individual clients, but with lectures kind of all over the country, mostly on the West Coast, East and Mountain Time Zone, as well as consulting with different companies on nutrition. So yeah, but off and on, I've been in Reno since '05, and I'm from LA.
Awesome. It's a different kind of culture down there in LA. I've
Yeah.
visited there a couple of times, and I know several folks from that area. What's your favorite part of the biggest little city?
Well, I like, I definitely like right in Reno. There's a lot to do in a small area. So I like downtown. I like Midtown. Especially with how the businesses have grown there and just the variety of things to do. So you can find almost anything here to do, in spite of it, not having very many people, although we're really growing. Population has almost doubled since I first moved here.
Yeah, me
And
too.
that's the whole metro area. But yeah, I just like the variety of things to do, and you won't be bored unless you purposely make yourself bored.
That's true. There is a lot of things you can do here, and it's good to see everybody getting back up and going
Hmm.
for sure. I was down in the Midtown area. Um, I think it was just Monday I was down there, and boy, does that look nice, the construction they've done. But those businesses have really been hurting. And with the COVID-19 and the construction and, the riots and all the things we had, if you can get down there and support your local business in Midtown, that would be a really great thing as folks are struggling trying to get back on their feet.
Yep.
Um, can you tell folks what you did before getting into holistic medicine?
Sure. Yeah, I ran retail vitamin stores. I was in the child care field as well. Um, different different forms of it's just sales, customer service, that kind of thing. Uh, and and so yeah, I just decided at some point that there's something I want to do for the rest of my life, which was the holistic medicine. So that's when I kind of really started to focus on it, and yeah.
Perfect. We always have a thing before, Mine was nails and eyelashes. That's what
Yeah.
I did before broadcasting. And a lot of folks, especially right now, we're feeling a little trapped in with what's all going on. And how does this stress affect our bodies?
So yeah, so stress is extremely detrimental to our bodies and brains as well. A lot of people don't realize that about 80% of our neurotransmitters are in the digestive system. So both brains, we like to say, need to be working in order for you to be healthy. The brain inside your brain and the brain inside your digestive system. So it really affects our digestive system, and that causes all kinds of other problems with our immune system, our endocrine system. Specifically in our endocrine system, when you're talking about our adrenal glands and producing more cortisol. So what happens is we go into fight flight mode with stress. Our body doesn't know the difference between a real threat and a fake threat.
Mm,
So first, our adrenal glands will start producing too much adrenaline, and it'll kind of hype us up. It'll make us like run around like crazy. And then to calm us down, our adrenals say, uh-oh, it's too much adrenaline. Let's start producing cortisol to counteract that. And then cortisol will make us extremely tired. So, and it'll produce belly fat. It'll store in our stomach. And that's when we get that belly fat. And that combined with the stress affecting our digestive system, we're going to have digestive issues. We're not going to metabolize food properly. It's just going to start to sit there. And then it's going to start to affect the other parts of our body. So it's kind of a vicious cycle on how stress works on the body as well as the brain. It'll also, a lot of people don't know too, that cortisol is made in the brain as well. And so that's where people get that brain fog. And
hmm Chemical
and so
change.
eventually every system gets affected.
Yeah. Big chemical change.
Hmm.
And it does affect a lot of things when your body's all out of whack. I was brought up in a stressful environment. And so, having 56 years of stress, I can handle a lot of stress, but when it gets to the point of no return, it's not a good thing. I've ended up in the hospital because of it, not being able to control it and go from there.
Yep.
So I have
Yep.
used um, hypnotherapy within the last year. I have a friend that just got certified with timeline therapy. And I know this can be a
Okay.
wonderful type of healing in someone. What type of hypnotherapy is your expertise?
So I've been a certified hypnotherapist since 2003. And so I've done a lot of forms of hypnotherapy, a lot of different types, help people with a lot of different issues with hypnotherapy. And, what I like to say about that is in order to heal our whole body, we have to also heal our mind as well. So healing our body will only go so far. We may feel better for a while, but all the mental stuff will keep popping up over and over again. So that's where hypnotherapy comes in. It gets into the subconscious mind. Subconscious mind is where our patterning happens. Subconscious mind is where our habits happen. So in order to change a habit, we've got to do it in the subconscious mind. When we try to do it on our own, it either doesn't work at all or it'll work temporarily, and then doesn't work at all. So basically, around 77% or so of our mind is our subconscious mind. So that's why when we try to change a habit on our own, it rarely works. And willpower, logic, decision making, all those things unfortunately are in our conscious mind, and so that doesn't change the habit. It's the subconscious. So It's that stuff that we don't understand that's going on inside our mind that needs to be addressed in order to alter a habit, so that the habit becomes the new way of thinking, the new way of believing, the new thought patterns, the new feelings, the new belief systems, and the new actions that we take based on those belief systems. So that's why hypnotherapy is so effective and can help with so many different issues that that people struggle with on a mental level.
I've had a couple different experiences. I've also used Dan Kim. That's kind of, I went to him for hypnosis a few times, and it was amazing when you come. At first, it's really hard, honestly, Jason, for someone to just trust. You know what I mean? Like, I was a little apprehensive. So I really didn't go too into it. You know what I mean? I kind of stayed conscious a little bit.
Yeah,
But as I got more comfortable, I was able to dig deeper. So, what does the success look like for me? What, if I see this color, it's going to represent this for me. And that really kind of helped me a lot. It was amazing to me, like red, let's say. You go driving down the road and you haven't really noticed red before, but now that you've gone under
yeah,
hypnosis, all of a sudden red's popping out everywhere, and that signifies that trigger for you on healing.
yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things where hypnosis, if somebody hasn't tried it before, it can be tough at first, like you said, because we see all these, TV shows and stage hypnosis, and we think that's what it is, and it's not. So with hypnosis, you never lose awareness. You're always aware of what you're doing. You're in a relaxed state, but if you wanted to, you could get up and walk out of the room at any time.
Hmm.
You can't be made to do something you wouldn't normally do. So if you notice with stage hypnosis, the hypnotist will always choose someone that's raising their hand. They're never going to choose and say, me, I want to come up. They're never going to choose somebody that with their hand down, because they know it's not going to work on them because they're
Right.
not going to be fully engaged in it. So these people that do this want to do it. And again, you never lose awareness. You can never be made to do something you wouldn't normally do. You wouldn't want to get up and walk out during the session because you're so relaxed, but you absolutely can if you want to at any time. You're still fully aware. So that's kind of the myths and misconceptions I like to address with people in the first session. Whenever I have a first session with them, letting them know that they're going to be fine, and all they're going to feel is relaxed.
Great. I think we had a big delay on getting here on Facebook, but I see at the top of the screen now we are live on Facebook, Jason. So I just want to say hello to my folks out there. Sorry for the delay. It's probably the internet at Anita's apartment. So if this didn't broadcast the whole thing, I will make sure it's up for you guys to catch the whole thing. And I apologize for any inconvenience. But nothing I can do about it, right? So
Right.
we're going to leave that stress to the side. And I'm just glad to have folks out there joining us. Um, I'm not sure. Let's see. I was going to check and see if Jason's going to join us. I don't see him yet. So we'll go ahead and give him a plug. Um, he's with JJ Reno Realtor with Solid Source Realty. He has a Facebook page, JJ Reno Realtor, and you can find out all kinds of things of what's going on in the housing market here in our area. If you're thinking about moving out of the area, he can help you with that too. So you can get a hold of him. You can call or text him. It says 757219975. And we really appreciate his continued support through all this COVID-19 as one of our sponsors, especially for us branching out as Red Rock Media Productions. I want to mention Tony Glover and I have hooked up, and he's been on the show I think a couple times now, And we started filming our first documentary, which will be an exclusive original. We hope to be releasing that in probably late fall, early winter, and we're excited about that. We're getting all the pieces put together, and we had our first shooting. Everything went really well, and we're in the process of making commercials for people for Nevada, Northern Nevada Coalition, Health Coalition. I got asked to do that, so I want to mention them and thank them for supporting my design, I guess, talent. And I have a lot of fun doing that stuff. And you know, Jason, when the video doesn't go right, I made some animation ones,
Mhm.
and they lip sync to your voice, and it's really cool. So glad to have that addition too, because some people are kind of camera shy, but they'll get on and do a recording or something, and I can put a character to you and explain it in an animated way. So that's going to be a fun thing.
Sure.
Yeah, doesn't hurt to broaden our horizons. Now, Jason and I have been discussing how to deal with stress and what the toll it takes on our bodies. And I saw a lot of people when we first went into quarantine about snacking all day. And, you know, what are some of the nutrition snacks that would be okay to indulge in?
So yeah, so I always tell people with snacks, it should be a combination of raw nuts and seeds or dry roasted nuts and seeds. You never want oil roasted because any oil they use to roast it is going to become rancid, even if it starts out as a healthy oil. So, and it should all the nuts and seeds should always be non-GMO, so not non-genetically modified, and they need to say non-GMO on the package. So, either through non-GMO project verified, or just they need to see no GMOs if it's a local, let's say a local farmer that can't afford the seal, it'll just say no,
Mm,
no GMOs or non-GMO. So yeah, nuts and seeds, non-GMO. You can like I said mix between the raw and the dry roasted. Also, of course, fruits and vegetables always, which should be organic and meaning that they're not sprayed with pesticides or herbicides. So yeah, you don't want those pesticides in your body. You don't want those GMOs in your body. And yeah, and then just basically healthy meals that include a little bit of protein, a little bit of good fat in there, and a little bit of complex carbs, not the simple carbs like starches, sugars, flour, that kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
So, and if you snack on anything, it should always be, let's say you snack on a cracker or something like that every once in a while. It should be whole grain. In other words, no flour. There should be no flour in the ingredients. It should always be whole grain, of course, non-GMO, and there shouldn't be any oil in there either. Because again, whether they bake it or fry it, frying, of course, is much worse. But whether they bake it or fry it, that oil is going to turn rancid. So you don't want any kind of oil in there, even if it's a quote unquote healthy oil. Those oils should only be eaten raw or slightly cooked when you're the one who cooks them, so you know how much they're cooked.
Awesome. We have lots of people joining us out there, Jason. It's so cool to see all the comments coming across, and we really appreciate that.
Mhm.
Um, you know, we got John Mondelli down there in Texas joining us, and I have another friend joining us, but I'm not sure of the language. So
Good.
probably it's Middle East or something. I don't know. But I can't read that, but I'm glad to have them along. And, you know, a lot of this holistic medicine actually started like in the Egypt times, right? When that kind of stuff, you know, holistic medicine, and a lot of people in the Middle East have used this for many years. Chinese.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's all different types of holistic medicine. Hippocrates, founder of modern medicine. Let the food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be thy food. So, and I really adhere to that, you know, and I tell other people, that's advise other people to adhere to that as well. And yeah, like you said, Anita, there's all different types of holistic medicine. There's Oriental medicine, you know, where you have OMDs, Oriental medicine doctors, which is, you know, mostly Chinese medicine, you know, which has been around about 3,000 years. And then you have Ayurvedic medicine from India, which has been around, you know, about 5,000 years. So yeah, I mean, these are things, they didn't have drugs at the time, you know, medications, and so you know, I always tell people, and of course, you know, don't do anything without talking to your doctor. That's my disclaimer. But I always tell people there's always a natural way to heal things, unless it's something you were born with, genetic deformity.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if it's anything that you develop in life, there's always a natural way to heal it. And so I always, with individual clients, I always let people know what that is, depending on what they're struggling with that disclaimer. Talk to your doctor first before changing any regimens or medication or anything like that. But yeah, there's always a natural way to heal. And what a lot of people don't realize too is that, or seem to forget sometimes, is that, you know, these medicines are derived from plants. So when people say
Mm-hmm.
to me, oh, plants, you know, natural medicine, herbs, plants don't work, I say, where do you think these medicines were derived from?
Right.
So, you know, so that's just kind of a little bit, you know, sometimes of a wake up call with people. But you have to know which, you know, which ones to take, of course,
Right.
depending on your individual situation. It's not going to work. Well, you may get lucky sometimes and Google your symptoms or Google your diagnosis and say, oh, natural medicine, this, that. Okay, I'll try this for this. I can tell you probably about 8 times out of 10, it's not going to work because everybody's individual body is different. And so I don't suggest the same herbs, the same natural supplements to everybody I meet as a blanket thing just because they have the same symptoms or just because they have the same diagnosis. What I do is I go after the cause. So there's, and this kind of, you know, makes people not as overwhelmed when I tell them this, that there's very few causes of all illness. No matter what you have, there's very few underlying causes. And so what I do is I go after the cause and I help the person heal, you know, their body and or mind, you know, using causality. So that the body can in fact heal itself. So because even a lot of natural medicine is symptom based, and I don't do symptom based. Maybe for a while to get the person feeling better, but until the, you know, the stuff that they're taking for the cause actually kicks in, which can take a while because you're allowing the body to heal itself. So that's not obviously done overnight or even in
Right.
a few weeks. You know, I mean, that'll usually take a couple months or so, or sometimes longer, depending on what the person has, how severe it is. And so we go after cause. They want to do the symptom herbal stuff in the meantime until, you know, just so they can feel better faster while the cause stuff kicks in. Then yes, we can do that too.
Awesome. Now, I had a guest on here a while ago, a couple years ago, Peter Greenlaw, and he talked to us about nutrition and like how many bowls of spinach it would take back in the 50s compared to now. How has our nutrition changed over the decades?
Oh yeah, it's horrible. I mean, our soil is so depleted right now of nutrients, of vitamins and minerals. It's insane. And so we do need to eat a lot more of anything that goes from the ground. You know, vegetables, fruits, to get the same amount of nutrients, vitamins and minerals, that is, that we would, and antioxidants that we would have gotten back in the 50s for sure, when our soil was used to be rich of those nutrients. So yes, you know, I always tell people, I mean, if you eat right, eating right means eating more of that stuff now than you would have used to have to. But eating right, you know, you don't need supplements. But most people, you know, I'd say 99% of people need supplements of some
Yeah,
kind
because you're
to
not
help.
getting enough.
You're not getting enough, yeah, to help replace what you're not getting. And I figure out, based on what a person eats, kind of which supplements they would have to use in order to get the nutrients that they're not getting, from their food. And then also as I talked about earlier, the genetically modified organisms, the GMOs. I mean, it's horrible. You know, how the crops have been genetically modified. Our body doesn't recognize this as food. It recognizes it as a foreign substance. So then it creates antibodies to fight off the GMOs, and our body can't metabolize it. And that's when autoimmune conditions happen.
Hmm.
So
And
so
we
that
are
that's
seeing a lot more of that in younger children,
yeah, because they're eating
more and more.
genetically modified and processed foods. So it's creating autoimmune conditions because the body doesn't know how to process them. It's creating antibodies, and then it just sits in the digestive system, and all these toxins get flooded throughout our body. And if it's a food that we're sensitive to, that a lot of us are sensitive to, like, such as gluten, which is a big problem again because of genetically modified
Hmm.
wheat and barley and rye, which are the three grains that gluten is in. It can eventually create what's called intestinal permeability, which is also known as leaky gut. So it can cause a lot of issues. The foods that we eat. That's why they should at the very least be GMO, and in a lot of cases beyond that, which is organic. So it's not sprayed with any pesticides or herbicides. And the way that you kind of tell the difference is if it's something that has no skin or a thin skin, it should always be organic because that means the pesticides would seep into the crop, fruit, vegetable, whatever it is, grain, whatever it is. If it has a thick skin, an orange, a banana, avocado, stuff like that, it's not as important for it to be organic, but it still has to be a non-GMO. And
Hmm.
you've got to kind of know where it's grown to know whether or not it's non-GMO. You've got to call the place where it's grown if you don't already know, because fruits and vegetables aren't going to be labeled non-GMO usually.
Right.
They're usually labeled organic. So I
We're
say
lucky
look
to
out
have a
for
label
organic.
on our fruits and vegetables.
Right? Yeah, yeah, that would look weird. But um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of them say organic, but they do say organic when they're organic. So when in doubt, go organic is what I tell people. And organic, if it's organic, it's also non-GMO.
Yeah, I'm just responding to our friends here out on Facebook. So many of them are joining us. We're glad to have you along. And we've been talking to Jason. He's a holistic uh, medicine expert. And now, diets, we've seen, fads come and go, come and go, come and go. Now, you know, 5 food groups, I would imagine, are the best diet, right?
So it depends on the person's metabolic type. And when I talk to individual clients, I will assess their metabolic type, what types of foods they can metabolize well, what types of foods they can't. So everybody's going to be different. There is no blanket diet that fits everybody. There's no one size fits all when it comes to what people should eat. Different people thrive on different types of diets. So and I do have a book out called Get Thin for Life on Amazon, where I talk about that, and I talk about underlying reasons why people can't lose weight, underlying conditions that may have. I go into all the
Mm-hmm.
digestive and endocrine and neurological, nervous system, all of that stuff, immune system. And so but again, it depends on a person's metabolic type. So there's no blanket diet. Now, there's certain things that everybody should avoid. Like I said, genetically modified foods. Our body doesn't know what to do with it. So things like that. Or, no one should be eating refined sugar or flour, things like that are just going to wreak havoc in the body. It's help, create
Well,
microorganisms.
sugar creates a lot of yeast in the
Yeah,
body,
I was going to say
and
yeast can.
it's been said that it can help spread cancer faster because of that.
Yeah, cancer cells feed off of sugar, absolutely. Sugar and things that turn to sugar in the body, like flour. So yeah, we all want to avoid those things.
Hmm.
So anything that's refined, we want to avoid because it's not in the whole food form. So I tell people, I mean, raw sugar is fine. Raw honey, raw agave nectar, if it's raw, because it still contains the enzymes to break down the sugar that's in it, whether it's glucose, fructose, sucrose, whatever it is. Well, sucrose is refined sugar, but break down the sugar that's in there. So it should be raw. That's what I tell people. Any kind of sweetener should be raw. That way you don't have to do the artificial sweeteners. And I won't get into too much individual about diabetes because, go with your doctor. And if I see you individually,
Right.
I'll go more into detail about it. But generally speaking, if you're doing raw, you're fine because it still has the enzymes to break down the sugar that's in there, naturally, because it's in a whole food form still.
Awesome. I was looking for my dog over in the chair. I think she's got her head underneath a blanket and is hiding out. Uh, it makes me laugh because she's a funny girl. Um, Today, I want to offer a keyword. We haven't, excuse me, done that in a while. And the keyword is healing. If you type that in the comments, we'll contact you after the show and we'll get you a mug from our store, Red Rock Media Productions. And as a thank you for joining us this morning. I also was going to say something else, Jason. Oh, I'm going to put a link to your book in the comments as well, folks. So if you're interested in getting that off of Amazon, I'll make sure that's in the links for our YouTube subscribers and our Facebook folks. And our podcast listeners, we've had over 1,300 now since we started podcasting, and we're on 12 different platforms. So if you've missed any part of this broadcast, you can go back and re-listen or re-watch it. If this did not all record onto Facebook Live, I'll make sure that the video is posted on there as well, so you can catch all the information from Jason. So how did you evolve into such a career? It's an ongoing thing. There's new things coming out all the time, right?
Yes, exactly. I'm constantly researching. I'm constantly looking at the new things that are coming out and just kind of, meshing them with what I already know, just to see if they're legit or not, because most things that come out are not legit. They're just fads, or they're just somebody that just decided to make up some theory based on what they think is true.
Blood type
So,
diets,
yeah, just
keto diet, you can
there
name.
there's something to be said about the blood type diet, but it's more about metabolic type, kind of what I mentioned earlier. Metabolic type is more important than blood type, but there is some legitimacy to blood type diet, but it's not as important as metabolic type.
I
But
can
yeah,
tell you I'd rather have Mario's metabolism than mine. That boy, he can eat and doesn't gain an ounce. I look at it and there it is on my hips. But,
yeah,
as women, um, when we start getting into menopause, and the body fat doesn't leave as fast and you have to work 10 times harder to get it off. Those are some things that, kind of hinder you in your daily life, trying to
hmm,
figure it out because there's no instruction book. Like everybody's different. So my menopause might be different than the next woman next to me.
hmm,
And, certain things like when you eat a lot of sugar, it can trigger hot flashes,
sure,
things like that. So those are things to watch out for that I've noticed in myself. There might be someone else out there who's like, oh, maybe that's why. But there is essential oils like peppermint or
hmm,
lavender or things like that that you can put in a spray bottle and just spray you, and it helps bring that hot flash right off, right down.
yeah. It's all about hormone balance, knowing which hormones are off compared to other hormones, because when we have low hormones in one way, it increases the other hormones. So it's about balancing the hormones. And there's things like you said, like peppermint, that can be good symptom relief. It's not going to heal the
Right, but you
hormone.
can get rid of that sweat running down your face real
Yeah,
quick.
you can, exactly. It's cooling. So, but there are things we can do. There are certain herbal supplements specifically we can take to rebalance the hormones for sure. But yeah, essential oils are extremely powerful. You always want to get organic because just like anything else, they've sprayed with pesticides when they're not organic. And essential oils, as a lot of people know, are a lot more highly concentrated than regular herbs.
Mhm.
So, in fact, they're 70 to 100 times more concentrated. So you need so much less of them. And so if you're not doing organic, that's all the more pesticides you're putting into your system. So as long as they're organic or like organic, they're organic, but they don't have the seal, such as a couple brands I know of, then they're fine. Then that's
I
what you
like
want.
doTERRA.
Yeah, yeah. doTERRA is one of those companies that it doesn't say certified organic because there's so many, they source it from so many areas in the world, but they will tell you they make sure that there's no pesticides or herbicides. So I do trust doTERRA.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
again.
one thing I like about their stuff is like if you need lemon water to cleanse your system, you can just put a few drops of their essential oil right into your water
Mhm.
and use it that way. Some of them you can are edible and some of them are not, which I'm sure
Right.
is like most medicine plants. Some are can be taken. Many look at marijuana for instance.
Mhm.
There's oil you can do. There's flour you can do. There's edibles. So there's all these different types of ways of taking different kinds of plant is what I would
There
say.
are, and again, it's all about your metabolism. As far as, let's say, as far as cannabis, for example, everybody's got but not other ways to take it. Um, oops, hold
I don't know what happened to your audio, Jason. Well, he went on mute. I want to mention Dr. Richard while let's see if I can just choose my virtual background I have on here for him and show him off. Nope, maybe not. Here's JJ's stuff. I can move out of the way. Nope, because I don't have a green screen behind me. I thought it might go ahead and show it. Now I got it all messed up. But Jason's on mute, I see. So I'm just waiting for him to come back on. He might have got kicked off. Sometimes that happens. But we can't thank our Facebook people and everybody out there joining us this morning. We can't thank you enough for
Okay,
being here. And
I'm back
yeah,
on.
kind of weird, huh? I
It
was
did
like,
kick
wait,
me
where'd he
off.
go? And then now I
Yeah,
have a thing in my face because I was trying to share a screen or a virtual background and I don't have the green screen. But I thought
yeah,
maybe it might
yeah.
hide me enough to get the information across anyways. But now I'm trying to get back to none. That's what I'm doing. All right. Well, wanted to mention Dr. Richard. He helped me get a support letter for my dog, having my dog with me, and I can take her wherever I want to. And that's really helped Mario and I both. We've been through a lot the last few years, and she's brought us a lot of joy, and she's helped us meet new folks. And I was struggling with that for a little bit after my dad died. It took me a while to come back. And this little gal that we got, Princess, she's just really friendly and helps us meet people. And I love taking her with me to the store. Um, if people want to reach out to us, you can do that at Red Rock Media Productions and at gmail.com. Um, I was going to ask you, Jason, what do you love most about holistic medicine?
Well, I like the variety. Um, I like the variety that it provides to people. So there's so many. I mean, out of all the plants, a lot of people know this that we know about. There's 100 times as many that we don't know about, and they grow all over the world. I mean, Amazon rainforest is a good example specifically where there's so many healing plants there, but most of us have never heard of most of them.
Right.
So I love researching all of the different ways that a person can heal with natural medicine. So that's probably my favorite part is there's always an option to heal. As I mentioned before, there's always a way to heal naturally from any condition that you have. And even the options that we know about, and I know about, for example, and I know about a lot of them, there's a lot that I've never heard of. And there's a lot that hardly anybody's ever heard of, even people that have been doing this for 50 years. So, and I enjoy the ever changing science in natural medicine and people coming out with different formulas that help with different things and have the science behind it and have the testimonials behind it. So I love researching all of that. When something new comes out, I like researching it and saying, "Oh, okay, this makes sense why this would work," or this is, you know, this is not, this won't work because there's no science behind it. You know, it's all theory. So yeah, just all the options that we have for natural healing. I mean, if you Google, you know, natural forms of inflammation, what pops up? Turmeric probably first, right?
Hmm.
Perfume, which is in turmeric. Well, yeah, okay, that's one thing, one of 100 things that can help with inflammation in the body. You know, so you know, people will look at the first thing and try it, and then it won't work. And then why didn't it work? It said it would work. Google said it would work. You know. Um, and that's why they would need to see somebody like me, because I can give them all the other options and everything else that would help them specifically based on their metabolic type, based on what they've eaten, based on you know, their history, their medical history, what would work best for them for inflammation, for example, an example we're using. And it may not be turmeric, you know, maybe something else. So you know, so that's what I like about it, is all the options. It's good but not good at the same time, because it's going to take a person a while on their own to find something that works for them. When they, you know, they can see somebody like me and I can say, okay, well, based on this information, this would work better for you because of this reason, because your kidneys are being affected, or your liver's being affected, or your pancreas is being affected, or whatever it is. So this is going to be better for that. That also supports the liver at the same time. So you know, so it just depends on the person. So again, I like the variety.
Awesome. I want to let you know that gentleman, I think it's, let's see, I need to, yes, a gentleman out there in Egypt. We want to say hello to you and thank you for letting us know what country that language was in. We appreciate that and we thank you for joining us. We have Ron Trunk out there in Dayton, Nevada, joining us. I haven't seen Ron in about a year or so, maybe. And we miss seeing you too, Ron. And glad you could pop in here and join us today. Um, but we want to get back to Jason. And you know this COVID-19 pandemic thing. You know, we've had the highest cases. Yes, we're testing more, but more people are landing in the hospital right now. So I wanted to talk to you too, that a couple things that aren't on the notes, Jason. Um, the hazards of wearing a mask for 10 hours a day. My hairstylist is all broke out around her mouth, and she has a friend in the hospital because she got, what is it, the carbon monoxide poisoning because you're
Mhm.
exhaling, and she was in the hospital for that. So, there's all these things and it's changing daily. How can we protect ourselves?
So here's the thing, and it's time to step on some toes here. Masks do way more harm than good. Like you mentioned, Anita, it's yeah, you get carbon dioxide poisoning because you're breathing your own CO2 over and over again. Not to mention all the moisture that happens, which can form bacteria. Um, you know, if you do wear a mask, you should change it about every hour, which who does that, right? Um, but masks will not protect against a virus. And because the virus is about 10 times smaller than the holes in the masks, the only type of masks that are going to protect a virus is if you're in a hazmat suit and no air can get in. So it's unfortunately the propaganda has been given into by the government, all the government organizations, and then people believing that. No, I do not ever recommend wearing a mask. It's just not effective, and it does more harm than good. It helps against bacteria, because bacteria are a lot bigger than viruses, right?
Right.
But viruses, no, it doesn't. And there's been several doctors and several virologists, and I've put links on my Facebook page to videos where they talk, and they say the same thing that I say. So it's not just coming out of thin air. And they explain the science behind why they don't work.
Yeah.
So
I hate wearing a mask. I
yeah,
feel like I'm smothering.
absolutely. And
And
so
not in 98-degree heat either. Who
right,
wants to have their mouth covered in it? You know, there has
yeah,
to be a better solution if they're gonna, implement it. Sisolak is talking about, not to bring in politics here, but our governor is talking about making us wear masks inside or outdoors if
mhm.
we're in a big group or whatever. And I don't think that that should be his choice. I think that should be
No,
my choice.
right. Well, that's true. And um, a lot of people don't know this. The governor cannot just sign an executive order to require mask wearing, despite what the media tells you. It's not legal.
Don't
Um,
believe everything you hear
right,
or
pretty much.
read on Facebook.
Yeah, the media. Yeah, right. So here's the thing with that, just real quickly. The governor cannot do that without it going through the legislation process. Now, the only organization that can do that is the health department, and that's only in a state of emergency. So our state of emergency has been over for a couple of months. Trump put that state of emergency in for like 30 days, I think it was, or 45 days. So that's been over for a while. So we're no longer in a state of emergency, meaning not even the health department can decide it's mandatory to wear a mask. But in a state of emergency, the health department can decide that. But we're out of that. So there is no legal requirement to wear a mask, despite what the media wants you to believe, despite what any governor in any state wants you to believe. You can refuse it. There's nothing that can happen to you legally, that kind of thing. So, a lot of people are, scared. Oh, I don't want to wear a mask because, but the governor's making me wear. No, the governor cannot make you wear a mask. It has not gone through legislation and process and all that to become a law. So even if he decides that, it cannot be enforced legally. Plus, you can refuse based on having a medical condition. You can refuse under the American Disabilities Act. You can refuse based on a medical condition. Nobody can, and absolutely at that point, nobody can force you to wear a mask. If they do, they can get first time offense $75,000 fine, second time offense and on $150,000 fine for trying to enforce that after you tell them not to. Plus, they can't ask more about your medical condition due to HIPAA. So,
Hmm.
so don't believe what the media tells you. This is what happened in California, where it said Gavin Newsom signed an order to you follow the link, and there's no order there. There's
Right.
no order. So, and then you go to the health department, it says recommended. All it says is recommended. There's no order. So you follow the
Hmm.
links. There was no executive order, even though the media, the LA Times, said that, oh, Gavin Newsom, required a mask. Well, yeah, you follow the link, and there is no such order.
Hmm.
So, and I sent a link to a video on that on through my Facebook page for people to see, especially the ones in California. So yeah, don't believe the hype. That a mandate can be in place, and don't believe the hype that a mask actually works. So it doesn't, and I will debate anybody on that. So yeah, that's that. Now your question, Nita, about how we can protect ourselves. Well, there's the best way I feel to boost the immune system as a whole, or whether it's an autoimmune system issue, is colostrum. So colostrum is an extremely effective immune system modulator and booster. And you should be first milking the colostrum you get should be first milking, so that it still has all the antibodies in there to help with with boosting the immune system. Colostrum, of course, originally comes from breast milk, so that's what builds up a baby's immune system. So you can take those answers, um, uh,
Having audio problems probably for the streaming. I understand exactly how that goes. And I just want to tell folks, um, Jason, when you come back, I want to talk about what your website is and how people can learn more about you and the best way to contact you. And we got a lot going on with Red Rock Media Productions. We will be doing live shows. We tried to do one on New York City Matters channel. So that video didn't come out, but I did make an animated video. And if you haven't had a chance to see that, it turned
okay,
out
I'm back.
really good. Okay. Um, but I wanted to let folks know what about your website and what's the best way for them to contact you.
Yeah, so my website is heal, so three heals, heal.info is my website, and that has links to everything else. Of course, it
Okay.
has my info, my email address, phone number, all that stuff, and it talks more about what I do with the nutrition as well as with the hypnosis, and so yeah, and just going back to to the colostrum, usually 6 to 9 grams a day for immune issues, and then drop to 3 grams a day for maintenance if you really don't want to get sick. But you want to build up slowly on it because you
Mhm.
can have kind of a detox reaction if you go up too fast, and you can feel sick and tired. So you just build up really slowly, make sure your body can handle it, and go up to that amount. But and that's the best thing I know of to basically to heal the immune system, the whole immune system. But anyways, yeah. So that's my website, heal.info, and all the other links are there. My Facebook group, my healing Facebook group, YouTube channel, book, all that stuff. And contact info. So so yeah, and I just launched a new program as well. It's an 8-week to healing program. So basically, I'm with you, holding your hand for 8 weeks, and you come out of it knowing exactly what you need to do to completely heal yourself of anything that you have, no matter what it is. It's a very customized, individualized program, and so 8 weeks to healing. That way, there's no, oh, should I see you, for another session or blah blah blah. It's all inclusive, and that includes the nutrition sessions, that includes the hypnotherapy sessions, and it's all going to be over Zoom. um, that includes access to the Facebook group that I have, so you can get that support. You can email me between sessions at any time. So it includes 4 individual uh, uh, nutrition sessions and 4 individual hypnosis sessions. And then and the first one we do, of course, a huge individualized, customized assessment and exactly everything you need to do to heal. That means foods, that means when to eat, what time to eat. That means which supplements you should take. That means when you should take them. That means how much you should sleep for your body type, for your chronotype, we call it in sleep, chronotype. How much you should sleep, when you should sleep, based on your chronotype, so you'll feel energetic. Uh, what the detox methods you should use, if any. Getting sun, getting the right kind of water. So anything you can imagine, it's going to include. There's no stone left unturned. So it's an 8-week to healing program. And it's all inclusive. I mentioned that you will never need to see any other holistic practitioner ever again, because we go over everything. So those of you that have spent thousands and thousands of dollars seeing people and trying to heal and all this other stuff, and then I give you access to other professionals on the specific things that I don't do. Let's say I think you need chiropractic, or let's say I think you need Rolfing, or let's say I think you need massage therapy or physical therapy, or any one of a number of different modalities, acupuncture, ozone therapy, anything you can imagine, I'm versed on all those, and I can send you to the right person to do those if you want to even speed up your own healing process even more. So again, all inclusive. I charge $3,000 for it, and again, it's all inclusive, so you never have to see anybody again. You'll be done. 8 weeks and you're
Mm-hmm.
done. And then you have access to me after that 8 weeks as well, if you want. So, I don't just leave you high and dry, but I give you a foundational program for you to use so that you can heal yourself. I don't claim to heal anybody, so that your
Right.
body can heal itself of anything that you have going on.
And I'm
And
sure things that need adjusting as you, like, let's say I went through your program for 8 weeks, the 8 week challenge, and a couple of years went down the road and something's happened,
mhm,
I've moved or something where things have changed for me a little bit and my activities have changed. Aging does that for you,
yep,
slows you down and stuff. Now you help support people through that. Like if I needed to come
absolutely.
back to you.
Absolutely. You can get a hold of me anytime. I'm not going anywhere. I'm doing
Hey,
this.
I saw you wanted to move out of Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere as far as my industry. All this is over Zoom. So, all the sessions are over Zoom. So, I could be anywhere. You could be anywhere in the world. It doesn't
Isn't
really
it
matter.
wonderful? It's a beautiful
Yeah,
thing
it
when
is.
it
It is.
works.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you happen to be in Reno right now, sure. I mean, I could see you in person for those sessions, but there's really no need to tell you the truth. I mean, we have Zoom, so face to face video chat. Um, so absolutely, you can get a hold of me at any time in the future. Let me know what's going on. We'll address it at that point. And yeah, but if you stick with what I have you do, you'll be fine. Um, I can give you all the anti-aging tools if you're into that. If you want to live, say, to 150 years old, which people laugh at that, but our bodies are made to live to 150 years old if we take care of ourselves the right way. And yes, even in these weird times where our food's been depleted and modified and all this other stuff, there's ways around that. I can go over that. I know all of the reasons why your cells age and why they die. And we can dramatically slow down that process and get you living to up to 150 years old. So, I mean, it's really true. Most people say, oh, I wouldn't even want to live that long. Well, that's fine if you don't, but
That's what was I was thinking in the back of my mind.
yeah, most people say, I don't want to live that long. Why would I want to live that long? They go, okay, well, then you don't have to. How long do you want to live? And I'll help you live to that age. But yeah, so it's kind of whatever you want out of it too. But I will tell you, hey, this is what you need to do to heal. These are the steps you need to take. And again, all inclusive. Don't leave any stone unturned. If somehow I do ask the question, say, hey, what about this?
Hmm.
I heard I might need this. And I'll say, well, yes, you need this because of this reason, or no, this you don't need because of this reason, because your body, it's not good. It's not right for your body type specifically. It might be right for somebody else, but not for you. So again, individualized, customized. I know of other people that charge $10,000 to $15,000 for similar programs, and you don't get as much support. They don't tell you, oh, email me between sessions and I'll answer your email within a day. They're not going to tell you that, um, that kind of thing. So, so I charge way less because I don't believe in gouging people. However, I do believe this is probably worth $20,000 to somebody. But again, I only charge three because I don't like to gouge people. But I do believe it's an extremely valuable program. So, I've got to
Very
charge.
thorough.
Yeah, very thorough. Exactly.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Jason. And that was some valuable information. And I know our folks will be watching it over the next few days. And we want to thank those folks for joining us at a later time. If you're on here live joining us, we really appreciate you taking time out of your day. And to our YouTubers, be sure to hit the bell so you know when we go live. and get those notifications. Subscribe to our channel, and so you'll know when we have new videos out. Facebook, you guys rock, and thank you so much for all your support and coming along my side and helping me with my journey of growth. And to my podcast listeners, I can't thank you enough for taking us wherever you are. To my sponsors, JJ Reno Realtor with Solid Source Realty. Get a hold of him, 775-721-9975. Mario at Creative Handiworks and Design. His number is 775-378-3319. And if you need to get a hold of Dr. Richard, 775-683-1108. And he's a certified life and addictions coach. And most important is that you guys are the best part of my week. And I look forward to coming on each and every week. Stay healthy, stay home, stay safe. Remind you that kindness can go a long way, and you never know whose life you will change just because you were nice to them one day. We'll see you next week. I have, hopefully, I got to contact the board members of Recall Siselac, and we'll have them joining us next week. So be sure to tune in for that information. I already have people liking our page here at Connections with Anita for that show. So building that audience, Jason.
That's great.
Yep.
Absolutely great.
And people are reaching out to me about that show because I've been kind of letting people know that that's coming up. And we appreciate you, and you have a great day, Jason.
Thank you, Anita. You too. I really appreciate you having me on your show.
Anytime you want to come back, you just let me know and we'll hook you up.
Sounds great. It's been fun.
Perfect. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. So it's been a little bit of a challenge to try and get everything set up for you guys and come on here and talk to you with all the changes we've been through. But we're starting to get it ironed out, and we're working on things daily. And we look forward to bringing back guests onto the show and creating more shows on different channels about different things. And I'm just really humbled at your guys' support, and thank you for encouraging me through this growing pain. And you guys have a great day. We'll see you next week. Love you guys.